following investigation contains graphic details. Viewer discretion is advised.
Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
Oh, it's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay, how did they shoot? Did they shoot themselves?
Oh, no. Hell no.
Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennels.
Okay, and did you see anyone?
He shot in the head, and he shot really bad. He shot.
Okay, where is he shot at?
Ma'am, I don't know, but there's blood everywhere. I can see his brain. Face down. I tried to turn her a little bit, but she's got a hole in her head.
Okay, is he breathing at all?
No.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Is there any guns near them at all?
No. There's here.
What color is your house on the outside?
If that's what you're asking, they didn't shoot themselves, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdaugh.
Last time I left you with a date that would change everything. June 7, 2021. This was the day the walls began to close in on Alex Murdaugh, and nothing in his world would ever be the same. But here's what makes this date almost unbelievable. On the morning of June 7th, the chief financial officer at Alex's law firm pulled him aside. She had uncovered a staggering $792,000 in legal fees that should have gone to the firm, but had vanished. She confronted Alex directly, demanding to know, where did the money go? That confrontation happened in the morning. By 10 o'clock that night, Alex Murdaugh was dialing 911, his voice shaking as he claimed he just found his wife and son shot dead on the family's land. Found his wife and his son shot to death on the family property. Same day, just hours apart. This isn't speculation. This is the confirmed timeline. And we are going to walk through every minute of that night, step by step. As always, no rumors, no filler. Just what's confirmed, what was presented in court, and what's still in dispute. Hi, I'm Ada, and welcome to Ammo True Crime Stories. You're seeing my avatar on screen, but all the research and the narration voice come directly from me. The cases I cover are based on publicly available information, such as news reports, court records, police documents, and other verified sources from the time this video was created. This video is meant for documentary, educational, and commentary purposes only. The opinions I share are my own interpretations and shouldn't be taken as final facts. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent, unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. Some material discussed may be disturbing to certain viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. With that being said, let's get into this case. The Murdaugh family's hunting estate sits outside the tiny town of Islandton in Colleton County. Everyone calls it Moselle. Roughly 1,700 acres of fields, pine woods, and swamp, with the main house on one side of the property and about 400 yards away, a row of dog kennels next to a small feed room and an open shed. Hold that geography in your head. The house, the kennels, for 100 yards between them, because the entire mystery of this night lives in that gap. Maggie Murdaugh was 52, married to Alex for almost 3 decades. Friends described her as warm, funny, and devoted to her 2 boys. In June of 2021, she'd reportedly been spending most of her time at the family's beach house, but on June 7th, she came back to Moselle. Paul was 22 now, and his life was on hold. He was still awaiting trial on those felony boating under the influence charges from the Mallory beach crash, charges he'd pleaded not guilty to. He was by every account the most hated name in the Low Country. He'd received threats. Remember that, it comes back tonight. Now the day itself, at the family law firm, the CFO, a woman named Jan Seckinger, had been quietly chasing a problem. $500,000, then more legal fees from a case that never landed in the firm's account. By June, the number she was looking at was $792,000. She would later testify under oath that on the morning of June 7th, she confronted Alex on the firm's staircase and asked him about that money. She said he gave her a look she'd never seen from him before, and then mid-conversation, the tension just deflated. Alex got word that his father, Randolph III, was back in the hospital, dying. The money conversation stopped. So picture Alex Murdaugh's world on this one single day. The boat crash lawsuit is demanding his financial records. His own firm has found missing money. His father is dying. Prosecutors would later stand before a jury and call this exact convergence the gathering storm. The defense called it a coincidence. You'll decide for yourself. But first, the evening.
Scene is secure. Got a Whiskey Fox, Whiskey Mike, both gunshot wounds to the head.
Sir, I wanted to let you know because of the scene, I did go get a gun and bring it down here.
It's in your vehicle? Do you have any guns on you at all?
No, sir. It's leaning up against the side of my car.
Okay. You're fine, man. You're fine. Turn around for me.
I don't have any guns.
Okay. Yes, sir. I see that. Okay. This is your wife and son?
And son.
Okay.
It's bad. It's bad. Check the pulses.
Yes, sir. This is the firearm you brought from inside the house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I went and got. This is a long story. My son was in a boat wreck a few months back. He's been getting threats. Most of it's been benign stuff we didn't take serious.
Okay.
You know, he's been getting like punched. I know that's somebody. I know that's what it is.
Okay. When did you get home? Right when you called, or did you go to the house first? Where is the house?
I came to the house first. My mom has late stages Alzheimer's, and my dad is in the hospital.
Okay.
I left. I don't know what time. I can go back on my phone and tell you the exact times. Did you check?
Okay. Did I check what?
Did you check them?
We got medical guys that are that's what they're gonna do. Okay.
What are they doing? Can they hurry?
They are. Yes, sir. That gentleman that was out here already, he's one of the battalion chiefs. Okay. How did you pull up? You from back there?
I went to the house and they weren't home, which was odd. I tried to call.
Okay.
And then I knew they had been down here before I left to go to my mom's.
Okay.
And so that is loaded.
Okay.
You might want to unload it. But
Is this the only firearm with you? This is the only one, or is there any more in the truck?
I believe that's it.
You think that's the only one? Okay.
I'm 99%.
Do you normally have any other firearms in your vehicle?
I don't, but occasionally occasionally there's a pistol in there.
Okay. Just wait right here for me for a second, okay?
They are dead, aren't they?
Just turn all those up.
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like. Yes, sir.
Randy. Maggie's caller dead. Where are you now? All right. Yeah, the police are here now. The police are here now.
Affirmative.
That's my brother.
Okay. When was the last time you were here with them? Or talked to them or anything like that?
It was earlier tonight. I don't know the exact time, but
Okay.
I left. I was probably gone an hour and a half from my mom's, and I saw them about 45 minutes before that.
Okay.
I rode around with Paul for 2 hours this afternoon in the pickup truck.
That's your son, Paul? Okay.
Somebody going to check them?
Yes, sir. They've already checked them.
They did check them?
Yes, sir.
This is official that they're dead?
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
I'm sorry.
No. You're fine.
I'm very sorry.
Here is the timeline that investigators put together using cell phone records, vehicle data, and witness testimony. Every timestamp was shown in open court. At 7:56 p.m., Paul sends a friend a Snapchat video. In the video, his father Alex is relaxed, joking around and wearing a blue shirt with long khaki pants. Remember what Alex is wearing because it will be important later in this series. Around 8 p.m., the family has dinner together at the main house. According to Alex, that dinner was the last time he saw his wife and son alive. Keep that in mind. He told investigators more than once that he last saw them at dinner. At 8:40 p.m., Paul is down at the kennels and calls his best friend, Rogan Gibson. Rogan's chocolate lab, Cash, is staying at Moselle, and there is something wrong with the dog's tail. They talk for about 4 minutes. Paul says he will take a quick video of the tail and send it to Rogan. At 8:44 p.m., Paul opens his camera and starts recording. The video lasts 50 seconds. It shows a dog with its tail wagging. It is a very ordinary piece of footage, one you might see any day. In that recording, you can hear 3 voices, Paul, Maggie, and a third person calling out to one of the dogs in the background. The video is never sent. 5 minutes later, Rogan texts Paul asking for it, writing, "Get a good picture of it." But he never gets a reply. He never hears from Paul again. 8:49 p.m. Both Paul's phone and Maggie's phone go silent. No more reads, no more replies, no more activity. Investigators concluded this is the window, roughly 8:49 to 8:50, when Maggie and Paul Murdaugh were killed.
Maggie was shot 5 times and was found face down on a cement path. There were some things, though, that were really curious. Shot through the abdomen, and somehow it made it all the way up to her brain. And then also shot in the left wrist, left thigh, back of the scalp, and then the upper abdomen. She was 30 yards away from Paul. She was shot with a rifle. And Paul, he was shot with a shotgun, also found face down. He was shot in the shoulder and the head, and he was also shot in the chest. And 2 different types of ammunition were used. That's just so confusing. Look at those 2 directions. One shot goes up, and the other one shot goes up another way. I want to bring in Joseph Scott Morgan. He's a certified death investigator. He's also a distinguished scholar of applied forensics at Jacksonville State University. I couldn't make any sense of the trajectories of those bullets, but I know you can, so help me out.
Yeah, it's rather layered and complicated. Let's talk about Paul first, if you don't mind, Ash. He's got 2 gunshot wounds, which are actually shotgun wounds. And as you mentioned, this is very curious. The writer of this report, who, by the way, is not a physician, this is not the autopsy report. Please understand that. The injuries that he sustained are, in fact, as a result of the first wound, and this is not indicating sequence of wounds. It's just they're numbered this way.
Okay.
First one is from birdshot, all right, which is for small game. This is the one that this individual has identified as taking out the back of Paul's skull. I have a model here where we're looking at a skull. It would have impacted this area coming up from the left shoulder, impacting the occipital area, occipital parietal area, and kind of blown this out. Okay. And he's saying that the brain has essentially, it's absent from the cranial vault, the interior of the skull. So it's got this kind of weird trajectory going out. It's passed through the neck and up. So that's a very acute angle with him. And there's no soot, there's no stippling on that, which means that the debris from the firing would have been deposited on the wound. That's not there in the shot. However, when you go to his chest,
the shooter's far away, right? For the stippling not to be there.
It would have fallen away. On the chest, that was with buckshot. There's 8 pellets, 32 caliber, essentially. And so there is stippling there, Ash. That means that this shot was up close. It was up close enough so that you have unburned gunpowder that's impacting onto this wound, according to this individual. Now we go to Maggie. In her perspective, there are multiple gunshot wounds, but this is the key. And they're in these odd, weird, twisted kind of, she's got one through her wrist. Very strange. Yeah, and then one through her thigh.
Look at how the one on the right goes from her hip, and it goes upward through her chest area, shoulder, and into her brain. But then the other one comes from the other direction, across her wrist and across her abdomen and out. And then still another one goes through the wrist and possibly the thigh. And the fifth one down through the skull. Is this someone shooting her as she's falling? Because there's some description that it seemed like she was on her knees, leaning over with her shoulders and her head down, and maybe holding herself up with her right arm. Yeah. Does that make sense with those directions? Dynamic.
Right. And by the way, folks did a great job with this image. However, we have to understand that's two-dimensional image. We work in a 3D world. So it's very dynamic, yet twisting and turning. She's got a wound that passes through her wrist. Many times we would say, that's a reflexive injury like that.
Sure.
But she's also got another one in her side. But there's a progression with these injuries. You get up to one, and the one in the back of her head is actually, there's a deposition of soot there. You know what that's an indication of, Ash? That's an indication of being in a position of dominance, asymmetry to her, dominating over her. It's almost in the form of an execution style shot. So she is probably moving away from the shooter at this point in time, and he's firing down range at her as she is moving away. She goes down to the ground. Again, she's twisting. She's aware that she's been shot. And then finally, the coup de grace is he's on top of her and fires down into her head. Now, what position she was in, I have no idea at that time.
It's so hard to fathom all of this. It just sounds like you're describing a movie, and you're not, and that's what's so tragic. I do want to ask you, though, about, this confuses me, but both a shotgun and a rifle are used. A shotgun on Paul and a rifle on Maggie. And then on Paul, like you said, buckshot and birdshot. Can one person really do all that?
Well, it would seem that at least that's the appearance. To me, there's an indication of deception here. You've got two separate types of ammo for the shotgun, birdshot and buckshot. Most people, you load it one or either one of these. One or the other. Not a mixture. And why two long arms, which are shoulder fired arms? Generally, with a rifle, shoulder fired, you have a side arm, a pistol on your side, and you can transition. People in law enforcement, military do that. This is an oddball case, Ash. I want to state that plainly here. I've never come across a case where we have two long guns being fired by one individual. I can't really frame this in any other sense other than, was the purpose here to deceive, to create an illusion that maybe there was more than one shooter?
10:07 p.m. Alex Murdaugh calls 911. He says he's just gotten back to Moselle and found his wife and son down by the kennels and that neither of them is moving. He tells the dispatcher he checked them for a pulse. He says, quote, "It's bad." On that same call, before deputies arrive, Alex offers a theory. He brings up the boat crash. He says Paul had been getting threats, punched, attacked online. Suggestion that hung in the air. Someone came here for revenge. So where had he been? Alex's account, given that night and repeated in the days after. After dinner, he stayed at the house and took a nap. A little after 9, he drove about 15 minutes to Almeida to visit his mother, who has late-stage Alzheimer's. He checked in on her, talked with her caregiver, and came home a little after 10. Found them and called 911. Importantly, He told investigators in recorded interviews that he had not been down to those kennels that evening, not before he left. The last time he saw Maggie and Paul was at dinner at the house. Keep the two timestamps side by side. The video at the kennels, 8:44. The phones go dark, 8:49. Alex's story? I wasn't there. News of the murders explodes across the country. The victims are from the most powerful family in the Low Country, the same family involved in the boat crash scandal. Now the wife and son are found dead on the family property. The State Law Enforcement Division, or SLED, takes over the case. The local authorities are not involved. By this point, it's clear why the local prosecutor's office can't handle anything connected to this family. Weeks go by with no arrest and no suspect named. SLED even released a statement saying there is no danger to the public, which made many people suspicious. After all, what does it mean when there is a double homicide and no suspect in custody? Behind the scenes, investigators faced a problem. The issue was a locked iPhone. Paul's phone was found at the scene, but it was sealed. Whatever was on it, they couldn't reach it. It reportedly took help from federal partners and months of work before the phone was finally opened. And when it did, there it was, the video. 50 seconds, 8:44 p.m., a dog's tail, and 3 voices. Investigators played that video for the people who knew this family best. Paul's closest friends, people who'd grown up in that house, eaten at that table, hunted in that land, people who described the Murdaughs as their second family. Rogan Gibson, the friend Paul spoke with at 8:40, listened to the third voice on that recording. The voice was calling out to a dog in the background. He was asked under oath whose voice it was. He said he was completely sure. The voice belonged to Alex Murdaugh. Another friend, Will Lovin, agreed. Others did too. This meant the evidence now showed that at 8:44, Alex was at the kennels with Maggie and Paul. At 8:49, Maggie and Paul's phones went silent forever, and Alex had spent months telling investigators he was never down there. The state's attorney general later summed it up in one devastating sentence. He called that recording, quote, Paul speaking from beyond the grave. Being placed at the scene 5 minutes before and being the killer is a different claim. One is established, the other was for a jury.
According to a Snapchat representative, that video was uploaded to Paul Murdaugh's memories at 7:39 p.m. and later sent to friends at 7:56 p.m. on June 7th, 2021.
The video we just discussed, that was part of the Snapchat search warrant return?
Yes.
That you just testified was uploaded at 7:39 p.m. and sent at 7:56 p.m.?
Yes.
Listen to how many voices you hear.
Get back. Get back. Quit, Cash. Quit. It's okay. Come here. It's not bad. Come here, Cash. Shit. Come here. Post it. Cash.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Bubba. Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
Come here, Bubba.
Close friends of the Murdaugh family testified that they 100% believe Alec Murdaugh's voice is heard alongside his son Paul's and wife Maggie's in the video.
Recognize the voices on there?
I did.
Did you recognize the voices of your second family?
I did.
And what voices did you hear?
Paul's, Miss Maggie, Miss Alec.
And how sure are you now?
Positive.
100%?
That's correct.
Expert witnesses said the video was taken at approximately 8:44 p.m., which is minutes before investigators believe Paul and Maggie were shot. Later, Alec would call 911 at approximately 10:06 p.m. to report the discovery of the bodies of his wife and son.
This is Alec Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child
shot badly.
Family friends also testified that Alec and Paul had a close relationship. Here's a video of the father and son at Alec's 61st birthday.
Happy birthday to you. All right. Happy birthday to you.
Thank y'all so much. Hey. Thank you, baby.
There's one more detail, and it's the reason this episode has its tagline. The next day, Maggie's iPhone was found. It wasn't at the kennels or at the house. Instead, it had been thrown into the grass along the side of the road about half a mile from the entrance to Moselle. Someone took the phone from the scene and tossed it out along the road. Data from the phone, such as orientation changes and screen activity, became a major point of debate at trial. Both the prosecutors and the defense argued that the data supported their own version of who took the phone there and when. I'll explain that debate in the trial episode because it's honestly one of the most interesting forensic battles I've ever seen. But let's step back and look at what happened that night. 2 guns that were never found, a phone tossed into the weeds, and a man whose own voice places him at the scene. He was at the scene just 5 minutes before the victim's phones went dark, even though he had spent months saying he was never there. And then there's a family name that has shaped the area for 87 years, now facing a turning point. For 3 months after the murders, almost none of this was known to the public. Alex Murdaugh attended the funerals as the grieving husband and father, with his law firm supporting him. The family name still carried weight. But then, in just 1 week, in September 2021, everything changed. Alex was suddenly forced out of his family's law firm due to financial discrepancies. Then, a day later, on a quiet road in Hampton County, Alex Murdaugh was shot in the head. This is the end of part 2 of this series. What do you think about this case so far? Drop your comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe. It will help this channel a lot, and it's completely free. Ring the bell so part 3 lands in your feed the second it drops. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Stay safe, stay alert, and always pay attention to what's happening around you. See you soon.